Hey, my name is Milan. I'm on my way to Poland to film EMUCC with Double C. I'm doing operations, driving the kit to the locations. I'm doing financial stuff. I'm doing editing, producing live productions as well for you. And with your help, we can do a better job at delegating, maybe. Or we can do a better job at providing more fields or having more coverage. Having a person run around and film the most exciting games at each event next to the live stream. We can do that because of your help on Patreon. Get on board. Thank you.
Side Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! TV!
Help us go electric, become a member.
He's in a great spot. Now. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
Hi, this is West. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
Hello and welcome back to the coverage of the European Masters Ultimate Club Championship. It's finals day. We have just finished off the ceremony for the Grandmasters Open category, which was taken in a spectacular fashion on Universe by the Czech team Silence. 4.0 that time. We will see their younger version of Silence 3.3 in this Open Masters final, facing off Hardfisch, currently going out of their huddle. My name is Rachel Tošnerová, and I'm joined by Benji Rees in the commentator booth, as I have been all weekend. What a blast we've had.
Honestly, like, we've had some really just stonkers on the stream so far this weekend, and that Grandmasters final might just take the cake. Honestly, it feels rude to not just savour that for a little bit, but the action just keeps on coming, and we're straight into a Masters final that, I'll be honest, promises to deliver as well.
I agree. Just to keep you updated on all the stuff that's happening here in Wrocław, we did find out that Silence 4.0 also won the Spirit Prize Award in their category. So they really come home with double happiness from this tournament.
And I will say that genuinely, just looking through all the spirit scores from the various games, it's so rare to have seen below a 10 given, and it's great to see that these games, competitive but being played in phenomenal spirits.
The first pull goes up, and so does the first deep shot of the game.
Meisterings, we know he's got a cannon, pretty much went for it instantly, and I think he got it in the back corner as well.
I don't think anyone was ready for this. Neither were we, neither were the cameras, neither were the defenders, apparently. The disc went so fast, immediately off the centering of the pole, but it worked, and it's the first score of the game. Hardfisch from Hamburg taking an early lead.
Yeah, Meistering we expect to see to do a lot of the handling for this Hardfisch side. The lefty, we've seen what a weapon he can be with his throws when he gets it right, as he frequently does. And this time, he's opening it up immediately again towards the back corner, and it's the man with the wheels, Alessio Miloni, the Italian import, making the catch to give Hardfisch the 1-0 lead. Miloni, originally from Sardinia, from Cagliari in the south of the island, and was part of the team that helped create Ignos Flying Disc, the team there that put on the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ornament Club Championships at the back end of last year.
Wawrusza, in the meantime, on the sideline, finds Preusel for the reset. Rzeznik now gets the pass through the first cup. A slightly difficult catch by Jurasik. Wawrusza on the sideline again. His two little kids and hopefully also his wife watching. Why? What a throw over the head of the defender that had no idea that that shot was coming. And I will have to see the replay to identify the scorer there.
But, I mean, what a throw. This is, we say so often about, you've got to have your head on a swivel as a defender, because if you get it turned and you've got no idea where the disc is, that's when a thrower, the quality of Wawrusza, is going to punish you, because sees the target go and he can just sit this out there. No chance really for the defender to get a bid on it. And
Ondřej Srb with the score.
Yeah, just completely rolled that one around Baumeister. By the time he saw it, it was already too late.
So we're tied at 1 apiece. Ondřej Srb, 32 years of age, barely in the Masters category. He will be 33 this year. He will be one of the quite a few left-handed players, I think, on this field, originally from Prague. Oh, and this is a really nice hanging pull, allowing the defense to really get there early. Meistering sporting his long sleeve jersey as he was in the other games as well, and he puts up a deep shot.
And it's on the money to Fergman.
Kopřiva really trying to get his body on the way, but the Vögler rather undisturbed on a rundown of that deep throw, and Silence will have to start respecting the deep shots. The Czech D-line have done a really wonderful job throughout this tournament, really playing most of the points, as Silence have won all their games in the pool play. But so did Hardfisch, didn't they?
They did indeed. These two were due to play originally in the pool this morning, but after Hardfisch won an absolute barnstormer last night against Uprising, the home side here from Poland, which I highly recommend you check out for free, on demand, at your leisure and at your pleasure on ULTI.TV's YouTube channel, because it is unbelievable the quality of that game. They were like, well, there's no point playing each other in the morning and then playing each other 2 hours later, so we'll just both agree not to play the morning game so we can conserve our energy for the big show later on.
And that just means that they have that much more energy to put into this game and give you, watching at home or on the ULTI.TV YouTube channel, have a great experience. Please join us in the chat. Just hit the subscriber button. That is just a way for us to protect us from spam in the comment section. So just hit the subscribe button and you'll be able to join in and engage in the conversation. Jurasek with a deep shot to Halamka. He's an absolute beast downfield, just shy on the end zone line. And an easy score for Vavrusha.
Well, we'd seen Hardfish open it up early, try and really test that deep game. I do like it when teams try and hit big early on, because I do feel that, you know, it plants that threat in your opponent's mind, does open up more space for you underneath as the game goes on. And this time, you know, stretching it to, as you mentioned, that ball of muscle that is Halamka, and Vavrusha's hustling there to be the first player ready as soon as he gets up, and simple pop in for the goal, and we're tied at 2s.
Jurasek with that deep shot to Halamka. He's actually Slovak, but has lived in Brno for quite a few years now, actually very long as I can remember, and he's been playing for Leftovers, making an appearance in the mixed division at EUCF various times.
Yeah, we've seen Leftovers representing Czechia's second city on a fair few occasions at the European level, and doing a very good job of it as well. I think there was a discussion about whether it landed in or out. Or maybe a travel?
A travel call, it seems like. This will be tapped back in one more time. We see Vosicek poaching a little bit, clearly trying to force the Hardfisch offense towards the nearer sideline. Halamka baiting that undercut and forcing a miscommunication on the Hardfisch side.
That is a really sloppy turnover. Herflin just completely not on the same page there as Maloney. Silence with the game's first break chance.
Handlers calling on the players to get closer. Koptiva goes back to someone that I cannot see over the players, Vosicek. Jurasek, now Fela on the disc. And a call. I think there was some kind of contact between Meistering and Halamka.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure whether it was on the throw or...
But we do have some German fans connecting in the chat on our ULTI.TV YouTube channel where all the live action is happening. Please do join us. Send questions, send greetings. We're ready to pass them on. Fiala finds Jurasek in the middle. Jurasek looking for the reset. And maybe an offensive foul, I believe.
Yeah, Meistering just taking the contact there.
Well, when you look around it, I would really be thinking about a straddle there. But they do get it off regardless. Doesn't matter. Play goes on. Halamek centers the disc to Vosicek. Vosicek goes for the high release backhand. The defender underneath, but Fiala comes down with it. Oh, and oh my God, he drops the disc.
I think he was out of bounds, maybe.
And Hardfisch go the other way. Meistering jumps over his defender.
Here's Dreyer after getting that little underneath from Thurgman. Team's just kind of taking a while to reset themselves after the quick pickup.
Dreyer with still no mark. Nice
use of the offhand there from Meistering.
Silence need to keep in mind that Meistering is a lefty and he's not afraid to use it. I think this will be, again, just like in the last game we've seen Hardfisch in, a crucial element to stop.
If you can't, it does feel like a lot of the time, Hardfisch will live and die by Meistering's hands, and if he's not on form, then that's going to be a bit of a struggle for them to win. But if he is, Silence know that they really have to watch out here, as we're seeing players from both sides engage in a little bit of discussion after that point. Here's the turnover, that high release backhand that just sailed out of the far sideline. It's reeled in, but on the line. And then here's the goal. Meistering, offhand backhand, gets it back, and then rips it towards that far side of the end zone.
I really feel like that has been the story for most of Hardfisch offense. But in fairness to him, he has had a great defense moment.
Oh, yeah. He's capable very much so on doing it on both sides of the disc.
Bachta receives the pull for Silence 3.0. Breusel now. Hardfisch with a bit of zone. Jurasik goes to Reznik. Reznik thinks about the continuation up line, resets the disc instead. He gets it again on the other side of the pitch. Looking for the reset, Bachta now. To his teammate Jurasik. Ooh, and a high athletic defense from Hardfisch. Gets the disc out of hands of Vavrusha, and this time Hardfisch with a first chance to break.
What a bid that is. I mean, that's, what, shoulder high he's getting on that layout?
Vavrusha is a pretty tall man himself, but look at that again.
Just gets enough on it there. Jurasik trying to go down the line, and Schwanker had other ideas.
We welcome lots of Hamburg fans in the chat. I believe they're quite pleased with this turnout.
Going downfield, and it's off the hand of the intended target, Andrew Hutchinson.
I can't believe Hutchinson didn't get there. I thought that was, I saw the angle on the disc, but had he had a little bit more extension, I think maybe he couldn't decide whether he was going to run it down or lay out, and it ended up being something in between.
I think that when he looks back on this, that might be one that he wants back. But that's not how it works.
Second chance for the Czechs. Bachta walks the disc to the end zone line. Halamka strikes deep immediately, but this will be hanging. Two defenders underneath. Halamka tries to make sure he doesn't call anything, and Hardfisch go the other way. Pick call downfield. I cannot believe there was no call on that one. It really felt like Halamka had good possession. We'll see that on the replay. Like we said, overall great spirit. Hardfisch take a timeout.
Yeah, opportunity to break here, give themselves a 4-2 lead. A couple of mistakes creeping into the games of both sides. It's a move that I understand, Rach. I think we will make use of this opportunity to take a little bit of a breather as well.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
Help Electric, become a member.
Welcome back after the timeout to the men's, or rather open Masters final between Silence version 3.3 from the Czech Republic taking on Hardfisch Masters from Germany, Hamburg more precisely. Hamburg with already a second chance to break. They Silence managed to get that turnover back on their first try, but now Hardfisch taking a timeout to really try to get this one in. They're a bit stuck on the sideline right now. And really, Favak, with absolutely no options downfield, ends up throwing the disc away, but it will go back as a stall count. Stall count stays uncontested.
Just didn't really have anything to do, so he tried to get rid of it in time, but that time had elapsed.
Again, excellent teams, quick solution of them. Breusel walks to pick up for Silence. And this time another deep shot. Řezník will be underneath, but so will be the Hardfisch defender. These deep shots have proven difficult in this point at least.
Yeah, they haven't quite got it to work. Maybe they've just not reading the position of the wind correctly, I'm not sure, because throughout this tournament we've seen those kind of be the bread and butter for both sides, but they're not getting it right so far in this game. Maybe some finals nerves.
And a deep shot from Hardfisch, out of reach from both the defender and the intended receiver.
And this is, it's got a little bit sloppy this point. I think teams, they're forcing the issue somewhat.
Like we said, Benji, these teams have won all their games, some of them more comfortably than others. But when you really think about it, they have rested all night. They know that this is the most important game of the tournament. So it's sort of a new mental setting for them. The first few points, of course, going back and forth with some nice moments. But now it's getting really tight.
Yeah, 3 turnovers aside just in this point. And now it's Silence's turn to take the timeout. On their own end zone line, see if they can finally, you know, find the cure for what ails their offense.
Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! DV!
Count me in at the London Invite as well. You can buy tickets to the event in the YouTube link in our description, or you can watch the whole thing on ULTI.TV.
As we watch Silence try once more for their O-line point. A huge save by Vavrusha from quite a high throw right of the end zone line. Halamka now in the middle. He's got the bump, he's gonna try to go for it. Intercepted, but luckily by Jurasek. Now Srp trying to calm down the distraught Czech offense. Halamka with another big shot, this time to Jurasek, and he is wide open in the end zone. Czechs finally bring it in after the Hardfisch defense managed to turn them over at least twice.
Well, they got the score, but it wasn't easy. They really had to work for it. A couple of overthrows, some saves, making catches in traffic. when they took the timeout, that's not how they would have drawn it up, but as long as it works, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they'll take that and try and adjust it now they're on the sideline.
So I think, again, we have a very close game on our hands. Given, speaking from the scoreboard perspective, I think Silence had some bigger wins, slightly bigger than Hardfisch over the other opponents, putting them maybe in the position of slight favorites in this game.
Yeah, Hardfisch have, with the exception of Volpertinger, where they won 15-8, which is the same score that Silence triumphed, they've generally had a little bit closer games, the exception being against Goldfingers, where Hardfisch won 15-11 and Silence only triumphed 13-12.
Hardfisch now back on 0. Silence sticking with match with a bit of a poaching of the lane. Höflin gets the disc from the sideline. Almost a poach D from Urban there. Neuhäuser passes the disc up the line. It's Höflin again for Meisterling. Meisterling back to the middle to Dreyer. Ooh, another almost touch on that disc.
Just able to sneak it around the defender.
Good offhand throw. Meisterling finds his teammate up the line. And now just an easy break. Ooh, defense tries to get there. Vosicek does a little twirl. And that's a score for Hardfisch.
Yeah, Höflin just about got that over the defender. Again, not always the easiest of 0 points, but that time they made it count, and I wonder if after those timeouts, both teams have just found their rhythm a little bit again. Because the previous point, it's not unfair to say that they'd both completely got out of whack. Had no idea of where the tempo and the beat was. Just seeing the replay, that little nice offhand to lead through Meisterling. Catches it in stride, looks downfield. I think he wanted the shot for goal instantly, but he didn't see it. So he comes short to Höflin, and Höflin will just try and sit this one over the top, and I think it's Fergman who makes the catch in the end for the goal.
Höflin, who is also the finance guy from Hardfisch, hopefully is hoping that his family at home is watching. But now he's going to prepare for some sideline support of the defensive line of Hardfisch. Srp with the disc. Goes to Pachta. There's a wide open Halamka on the other side of the pitch, but Pachta doesn't see him. Goes for the low release. Jurasek with a great low grab. Takes it to Preusel. Hardfisch switch to man. Preusel thinks about the deep shot, doesn't take it. Wow.
Visionary.
And this time Halamka is underneath it. He's gonna run it down. He's got the legs, he's got the speed. That's another point for him, isn't it?
Again, both teams I think are having somewhat fortuitous offensive holds. Like it's not how they plan it, but you've got to credit the fact that they're alert to collect these, these second effort, these dips, these bobbles, these tight catches in traffic. But yeah, from both sides, I think it's clear that they are not firing at their best offensively, at least. Defensively, the pressure is tight, which is why we're seeing these little mistakes creeping in.
We'll see one more inside break from Preusel, wobbling out of the hands of Vavrusha, and then it's Srp for the save, and then with a nice left-handed backhand for the end zone. I really like the athleticism on both of these teams, which I think was rather unmatched in the rest of the division.
Yeah, these are big lads, gender neutral. Like they're built well. You look at them and they feel like just real athletes rather than some guys playing Frisbee, Definitely.
To let you in on some insider info about this Silence team, they did put it together sort of last minute. as some of their grandmasters colleagues left them for their own division. But back to the action on the field. Hardfisch are moving quickly. It's Meistering with that deadly forehand. They cannot seem to stop it. This is a second score where they were unable to protect the break side enough for Meistering not to get the score there.
And for the second time this game, that's the Meistering to Maloney combination. Of the 5 goals Hardfisch have scored so far, Meistering's thrown 4 of them. It's very clear that he is quarterbacking this offense, and at the moment they are riding his extremely hot hands.
I think they really need to step around him a lot more. You can see that Fiala was trying to get there, but he was way in front of him. Like, a flat mark is not going to cut it against Hardfisch.
At least, not like that. If you put up a really good flat mark, you might get away with it, but you've got so little margin for error. Yeah, I think you'd want to come right the way around and sit on that shoulder, although that would, of course, open up the channel for that inside, which every lefty I know has a killer inside backhand.
So Hardfisch is up 5-4, Silence centering to Řezník. He has a deep striking Halamka, who is wide open. The throw is hanging, but he has meters and meters of separation. Now he's in the middle with Vavrusha. Back to Preussel, who finds Řezník again. A pick call before the throw, it seems like.
Hardfisch need to throttle Halamka in that deep space, because he's been a real weapon for the Czechs so far. That time he didn't go all the way to the end zone, but he did get behind them once more.
Disc will get tapped back in. Řezník fakes the break, doesn't get it. Goes for the inside break, and here's a quick score for Halamka. Another point on the scoreboard. Silent sticking close with Hardfisch from Hamburg. We're tied at 5.
Yeah, after the goal, he just kind of flipped it back into the middle of the pitch where there were some Hardfisch players, so they just kind of tried to maybe put a stop to that. And I think we're going to get another timeout here, with both sides trying to work out just how precisely they can edge ahead, as we're getting a replay of that score from Vavrusha into the hands of Halamka. It's Preussel, excuse me, not Vavrusha. So 5 apiece, nothing between the two sides, with the exception of that weird point to make it 3-all, where both sides had 3 turnovers apiece. They both had 1 turnover on the previous point, and those are the only turnovers of the game so far.
So it seems like the teams have gone into another timeout, because we've already had some during this game. And we will take a short breather in the commentary booth ourselves.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
Hi, this is West. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that, you know, they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
Welcome back. After the timeout in this Open Masters final, Czech Silence facing off Hardfisch from Hamburg, Germany. So far, a really tight game with lots of interesting moments, shall I say, Benji?
Yeah, both teams kind of had a collective meltdown halfway through the game so far, in that point to make it 3-all, but otherwise it's been remarkably clean.
We have a stoppage on the field in form of a pick. Again, not a first one.
So they need to improve the spacing of this offense. It can frustrate players from both sides, can, you know, kind of cause a little bit of resentment maybe perhaps, and it slows the game down, and as an offense it's so frustrating because it means you can't really get into that groove.
So the disc will go back to Meistering, who has proven deadly with 4 assists in this game.
Not a bad return, to be honest. 4 assists from your 5 points, you take that.
Fiala taps the disc in. Reset to Neuhäuser doesn't work. He finds Dreyer instead. Dreyer looks for the reset, puts a high disc up. Fiala with an excellent deep. That was great effort from Meistering, but this is a turn.
And he knew it as well. Didn't try and claim it was up.
A lazy backhand from Dreyer, a lazy one. That was an upwind throw, and silence will go the other way. Vosicek in the middle, goes to Fiala, author of that defense in this point. Doesn't have too many options, finally gets it off to Vosicek, who is working hard. Foul call, I believe I'm hearing from the sideline.
If they could convert here, this would be the game's first break. Only on serve so far.
Oh, I see, as Fiala was pivoting back from that forehand side. Couldn't really see anything. Oh, there. Okay, a little bump on the extra pivot. So this will be tapped back in. Not too much on that stall count, but Jurasik now with a huge forehand that curves perfectly into the hands of Vavrusha. Again, himself with already 1 score and 1 assist. And that's the first break for silence.
First break of the game goes the Czechs' way. Finally, that pendulum swinging back and forth has had something to deviate that momentum. Off the check-in, beautiful inside backhand into the middle of the park. They use that opportunity to work it, continuation all the way to the break side, where Jurasik shoots it for his target, Vavrusha, who catches his 2nd goal of the game.
Of course, we have streamed both these teams before on the stream, Hardfisch even twice in the previous days, so both teams have had a chance to do a bit of game study before this final match. And we will see whose preparation has paid off better.
I didn't realize this. Did you know that Jan Vavrusha's brother was a minor league baseball player?
Not really, no, I didn't.
Well, there you go. So he kind of understands the commitment that it takes to try and be a professional athlete.
So Hardfisch find themselves on offense again. The Czechs really targeting the handlers there with their zone, making them throw lots of passes. We have Dreyer working with Meloni and Meistering. Is it gonna be? It's gonna be Dreyer with a throwaway again, and I can see him taking off his hat, clearly disappointed. Meistering again, just out of reach. Very uncharacteristic errors from these two because they have been fundamental for the Hardfisch offense. Vosicek picks up, finds Fiala.
That disc is always going to go out the sideline because he's put the wrong edge on the disc, and it's always going to continue to try and push it towards the sideline, and Meistering couldn't catch up with it. Would have been much better off with a more conventional hammer over there.
Vosicek back with his disc. Again, a bit of a lazy backhand. Urban now on the sideline. Finds Langmeier with a long swing. He goes for the upline break to Vosicek, but that one is way too low. But I do like to see the Czech defense finally find the drive they've been using all tournament.
Yeah, maybe now this is another phase of the game where we're getting those defensive plays that we were lacking a lot in the first half, or at least first half of the half so far.
Hardfisch stuck a little bit in their own end zone. Ooh, and another turn as I look away to see who the players on the field were, and Czechs with really only one set end zone play away from a second break of the game.
Just a little bit behind Meistering. He tried to pivot to bring it back in, but he couldn't quite clasp it. And he falls over
to
on
Langmeier, who just trips over, and Meistering goes for the timeout. Benji, what did you think about that set end zone play?
I mean, I'm confused by it. I don't know why you would draw up a play where someone falls over and then you throw it to the ground. Feels like a bit of a mistake to me, but look, it just happens that the fields here are in brilliant condition, but every now and again the turf monster just gets you, and it did on that occasion as well. This time it's Herflin is just a little bit behind Meistering, but luckily for Hardfisch, he just can't keep it up.
So as Hardfisch advise themselves on how to clean up their offense a little bit, we're gonna leave you with some highlights and clear up our throats in the meantime.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Welcome back after the maybe fourth or even fifth timeout. That's impossible. We're only in the first half, Benji.
Yeah, it's the fourth and final first half timeout.
In the Open Masters final, Hardfisch having a hard time in this point, getting their offense nice and flowing. This disc will be called up as the Czechs continue with their zone.
But even then, another example of, yes, the throw was completed, but it's not as easy as it should be.
Meistering tries to find his teammate, but Langmeier is there to deny that pass. Vosicek picks up. Wild body movement.
I think Spectre was guilty of just not attacking the disc enough, waited for it to come, and Langmeier had other ideas.
And Vosicek just aggressively straight into the end zone for Urban. So Langmeier redeems himself after that fall during that last end zone play, gets the D, and the Czechs immediately aggressively attack for the second break of this game. They go up 6-4, I believe.
7-5.
7-5. The scoreboard is playing the tricks on us.
It's all right. It happens every now and again. It's a good job we're record and stat keeping here in the booth. Yeah, there's been a few turnovers this game from Hardfisch, and it feels like the sort of game where it's very clean for a period, and then both sides get a little bit of sloppiness, and then they tighten up and it becomes clean again. It's like these turnovers are coming in bunches.
In fairness, like I said, Meistering has been doing a huge chunk of work for the Hardfisch throughout this tournament, and he did get 4 assists in before, the offense started to struggle a little bit. So another pull goes up from Halamek. It is pretty big. Halamka, thank you. I almost did, oh my God, and that is a drop pull. I am the worst for commentator's curse, which is not a real thing. I know, Benji, but look at that. Czechs just need one or two passes.
All right, it might be a thing now.
Slowly but steadily, Vosicek will pick up in that coffin corner, but he really has all that he needs, and he puts up a deep one. It will be defended, but can they still get underneath? No, they do catch their Ds. Hardfisch go the other way, put up a big one for Meistering. He's gonna run it down, and it's gonna be for a score for Hardfisch. Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
what a way to spare your blushes, because dropping the pull is pretty much unforgivable, to be honest. But really sketchy throw, blades towards the far side of the end zone. Fergman defended it well, and then Meistering just turned on the jets. He burned his way downfield, and in the end the layout as well to score with a little bit of swag. Here's the drop pull. Oh, he's just looking downfield and he doinks it off his right hand. Kicks the turf a little bit in frustration, but
happens to the best also.
Luckily for him, Fergman was there, got the first tip, and then able to catch it at the second attempt as well.
He's like, I'm done with this, let's go.
Yeet. And what a rip it was as well.
I think I can really tell which players out of this Hardfisch Masters team are from the still competitive elite #1 Hamburg team. Pull goes up. Breusel receives it in his own end zone. Řezník now in an uncharacteristic role of a handler, as he is usually more of a downfield player. I think he's replacing Glatzek, who is suffering an injury and is helping his team out from the sideline. Now Jurasek with another deep shot for Vavrusha. He gets low, but not low enough. Disc wobbles out of his hands.
I think that one's on the thrower. Just didn't quite get enough underneath that. Made it a really awkward catch, and he might have got fingertip underneath it before it hit the ground, but a really awkward disc to try and reel in. So Hardfisch could make it 7s here. This is the rip from that previous point. The deep bomb to Meistering, as the disc is now back in play for Hardfisch.
Hutchinson on the disc. He was looking for Schnittke, but he wasn't open. Lots of pressure from the Czechs underneath. And I'm not sure if that was a turfed flick or a hand block from Řezník. Nonetheless, Czechs with another chance to score this point.
I'm going to give Řezník the credit there for the hand block.
Wow, and what a beautiful set play. Honestly, I think they just copied the Frisbee women's offense.
Yeah.
Quick dish to the break side, to the front of the stack, and then directly for the end zone.
Řezník getting his bookends there to take it into half. 8-6, a couple of turnovers that point for Silence, but sorry, just the one turnover, but Hardfisch couldn't capitalise. Vorwerk on the disc. Last time he had it, he got stalled out because he found no options downfield. This time he found one, but brilliant force from Řezník meant that he couldn't get his way around it. The hand block, send it into the turf, and then quickly the quick inside to Halamka. Continues the break around. That's fundamental break side offense.
Thank you very much. Of finals action here on our YouTube channel. Free streaming all day long. We have one more final coming up. Get some refreshments, settle yourself in comfortably, and we invite you to join us in just a few minutes.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back to the Open Masters final here in Wrocław, Poland. We're at the last day of European Masters Ultimate Club Championship. We're finishing off the Masters men's division with a final between Silence from the Czech Republic and Hardfisch from Germany. The Czechs took the half 8-6 after a few difficult offensive points by Hardfisch. The teams otherwise topping the pool, not playing each other until now.
Yep. Two of them were due to play this morning, but with the way the pool was shaking out, well, there's no point playing each other twice. Playing each other back to back in the same day. You know, when in the first game you've both already made the final, all you're doing is potentially opening yourself up to injuries. No one's quite going to show everything they have available, so just shelve that one and wait for the final.
We've had great spirit so far, great athleticism shown on the stream, just as much as in the previous Grandmasters game, where Silence 4.0 took the gold medal on Universe and then topping it off during the final ceremony, winning the Spirit Prize as well. Coming out of half, it looks like Silence will start on offense.
They will indeed. Silence looking to repeat the double that they're, I was going to say, at one point I was seeing the Silence juniors, which not quite right, but juniors to the Grandmasters at least anyway.
That's what they call him, yeah.
Yeah, the Silence Masters team looking to repeat the double that their more senior compatriots won.
So again, Halamka raising his hand to signal readiness for the pull. That is a thing of beauty. It is floating nicely, but now it's going to go a little bit more backwards and also out of bounds.
So in the end, not great.
Had it had the right spin, it was hanging nicely. That's okay. The Czechs will take it to the brick mark. Preussel being the central handler. Halamka strikes deep straight away. Goes to the side to Srb. Nice lefty to Jurásek. He's already had a few really cool deep shots in this game. Halamka now coming back, takes a deep shot of his own. Jurásek is there. Hardfisch defender doesn't get anywhere near it. He's thinking about the continuation to Řezník, but instead picks Vavrusha, who's been pretty useful for Silence there. This is his third score, and he also featured one assist.
That time really opening it up on the arm of Filip Halamka, who's been a menace in the deep game, either throwing it or receiving it. This time he's got the disc in his hands, bombs it to Jurásek, reads that catch well as it blades potentially over his head, and then not flustered outside the end zone. Vavrusha times his jump into the end zone to give Silence the 3-goal lead at 9-6.
Silence 3.3 really finding their rhythm on both offense and defense.
Silence +1, please. Got it.
Hardfisch have shown that they have the skills and the players to really face off Silence in a tight game. But a few uncharacteristic errors really caused them to lose the disc way too many times. And now they have the pressure on to keep scoring and then recover on the defense. That's Fugman on the sideline. Meistering. Back to Fugman. Dreyer in the middle. Goes to Meistering, to the dangerous sideline. Dreyer gets it again. The zone preventing any upline passes. The stall count is rising, and they will have to chuck it, but it needs to be a bit higher up as the wide open receiver deep was signaling, and Silence forced yet another turnover out of this German team.
There just wasn't really anywhere for Neuhäuser to go.
There really wasn't.
Silence with an opportunity to really pull away and create some breathing room.
Vosicek wanted the deep and he takes it, but that was a rash decision. Fiala covered by 2 defenders there.
That was not there, but it didn't stop him anyway, and it should have done.
And Silence now working hard to try to recover that zone defense. Meistering and Neuhäuser working together to get around the first cup. It's Spectre on the sideline, Dreyer in the middle. Meistering, wide big swings from the Germans. They try to move the disc quickly, but also look at potential lasers through the zone of the Czechs.
Fergman went with that big wind up, and you could see that they were thinking maybe that deep was going to come, but he saw that it wasn't there and he holstered it. Meistering's taken off his tracksuit pants from the first half.
You know, stuff is getting serious when that happens.
Something's going down.
I really like the wing positioning of the Czech defense. Yeah, really taking away the downfield options. And it does result in a second turnover of this game. Can Vosicek hold his nerve now?
Yeah, Fergman just didn't give his receiver enough of a chance to get underneath it.
He finds Urban. Urban with a big swing that's out of reach of Koptiva. I think it was Spectre that was chasing him. Meistering fakes the deep shot, thinks about it twice. Few receivers, finally they get over the cup. They have the whole entire field in front of them, outnumbering the Czechs, but they have now recovered. Meistering in the middle to Neuhäuser, and now to Dreyer.
The wind has picked up, and that's maybe why we're seeing a few more throwing and catching errors.
Neuhäuser to Spectre. Spectre through the middle to Meistering. Good coverage there. Oh, and they finally find the squeeze on the far sideline, and that's a score. Not a clean score, but a score nonetheless. Hardfisch stay close, 7-9.
Yeah, both sides struggling to adapt to the conditions. You wonder maybe if it had started like this, they'd be a bit more adept at dealing with it. But because it was relatively calm and still at the start, and it's kind of gradually, it's the wind levels kind of deviated up and down. It's made it difficult to kind of adjust a little bit more, I think.
We'll see a replay of that. Meistering really trying to find who's out of position there from the defenders, but then decides for the swing to Dreyer and pays off with a score.
Yeah, it's Philipp Neuhäuser catching the goal towards that far side of the end zone, and that'll be Neuhäuser's second goal of this contest.
Neuhäuser placed second at the German Beach Championships in 2019. His best friend introduced him to Ultimate, and he just loved the athleticism, the whole spirit of the game idea and the community. Only 32 years of age. I think we're mostly seeing players closer to the age limit in this game, with some exceptions, of course.
Yeah, the athleticism befitting of any division, let alone Masters. Huge going to start this possession here to Vavrusha.
Wind is picking up again. Strip now in the middle. He had Trzesnik open, didn't quite see him, and now he's stuck on options. Jurasik. Sideline calling for everyone to come closer, but Vavrusha is just not going to be afraid of that. He's going to put it up regardless, and that was just the wrong angle for Trzesnik to find the disc on time.
Bad decision, just a bad decision. Not the first from either side here. Saw the option and thought, backed himself to make it, but, you know, seeing how both sides have struggled in the wind, that's something you should really be adjusting for.
It's not as bad as towards the end of the Grandmasters final, but it does change even throughout the points, so you really have to think about what options you have on and which not. And they force a turnover straight off the first pass. with Srp making sure that there's no one getting that disc.
I don't know who Torben Visa thought he was throwing to, but I'm not sure he does either.
Imaginary friends, as always. They're the best. Breusel picks up for silence.
That's what they tell me anyway.
Vavrusha in the middle. Halamka. Back to Vavrusha. Good movement, but Bachta a bit too slow. Getting ready to catch that disc. It will be defended by Meloni, the only playing coach for Hardfisch. The other one, Tim Grunewald, supporting his team from the sideline. The last one back home with COVID, and Meloni himself strikes deep, gets the disc just shy of the end zone. A break opportunity for Hardfisch. Can they do it? They're potentially just one pass away.
Maloney warned us to watch out for his top speed, and he turned on the afterburners there. Both in getting the D and then bombing it deep to catch that huck, although it's still not quite in the end zone yet.
Cannot quite see the number to tell you who has the disc on the sideline right now. But can Hardfisch keep their composure? They'll be looking for the up line. They do get it off, and it's Spectre with the score.
Wow, Marejka went with the offhand, and it was not the prettiest of offhand backhands I've ever seen, but I don't think he cares one iota when he jams it in there for the goal, and they're only the one goal behind.
It seems like it's not a big deal, Benji, because they still have a few breaks to make up for. But when you think about it, all of a sudden you're forcing the other team's offense to adjust to different conditions on O, because they've been used to one side going one way, and now they're going the other way.
Well, here's why it's important. That's the first break for Hardfisch this game.
Oh, so mentally it's going to play a big role surely as well.
You'd imagine it would. I will say shout out to both teams here for having extremely readable jerseys.
Including their names?
Yeah, the names on the back of the Hardfisch ones as well, but even on the silence ones, the numbers are nice and big and clear and easy to read, and that makes our life so much easier.
Thank you for everyone. And thank you for everyone engaging in our live chat on the YouTube ULTI.TV channel. We do appreciate all your comments, and if we do not reply directly, please know that we are with you in our thoughts, trying to bring you the best coverage from not only Wrocław but also Tom's tourney this weekend. Silence offense has the disc. It's Halamka passing it to Rzeznik, and Rzeznik with a deep throw for Vavrusha, again out of reach. They're just getting a bit too overexcited on these deep shots. They think that Vavrusha is a freaking Superman. He's missing a cape at least.
Ambitious deep shot again, not coming off. Opportunity for Hardfisch now to bring us level again.
So Hardfisch, of course, now knowing that they are capable of breaking this Czech offense, will waste no time to try to do it for the second time right after the first one. Again, we see Meisterling crossing over to the D-line. He has the disc now, and he's not afraid to use his handler skills. Nice upline, quick movement. Defense recovers, but that's a throwaway, almost hitting our cameraman and his tool. Oh, and it lands on the table with the trophies. Breusel has to get it. So lucky for silence.
I mean, lucky for ULTI.TV, because we might be having to buy a new camera there.
The upline for Halamka was just well read by all these players. 4 players going up against the shortest Halamka, who just shakes his head and says, I can't do miracles for you.
I mean, that is a really poor decision from Breusel. He just locked onto Halamka, but it was so clear what he wanted, and that's why there was a massive humanity underneath it. The majority wearing Hardfisch jerseys, and if Halamka had come down with that, which he's capable of, but he's 1 against 4 here. I mean, just a really bird-brain decision, I think.
I think he was just trying to make it a little bit easy for himself. Of course, Hardfisch will take a timeout here, knowing that there won't be that many turnovers left in this game that they will get out of this silence team. So it's definitely, you see a lot of energy in their huddle right now, trying to prepare for the D-line offense, whereas silence will just remind themselves of some fundamentals of their game and try to get the disc back.
Hardfisch breaking their huddle nice and early. Whether that's because they've said all they need to say or whether there's a little bit of mind games in there. Break it nice and early, try and rush your opponents, especially after they've made a couple of really ill-advised throws. We shall see. After a really clean Grandmasters final, the Masters are struggling to find the same fluency, I think it's fair to say. We only had, hang on. Let me go back into my wonderful book of stats. In the Grandmasters final, we had a grand total of 12 turnovers over 29 points.
Wow.
We've already, well, Silence have had 12 overs already just themselves, and it's 13 for Hardfisch. So, again, you can see that there's not the same level of clinicity in these two sides as there was in our first game of the day.
Meistering will bring the disc in. Ooh, and a contested catch on the sideline. That was Weber. Now goes to Schwanke. Meistering trips on the reset, but does get it eventually. And a huge round backhand goes up, and it will be collected. I believe that was Weber with the score. Contested catch, but counts nonetheless.
Yeah, even though it's, you know, it's again one against a crowd of bodies, you do feel that Meistering nailed the location a little bit better there. Maybe it wasn't quite so telegraphed. Again, just put it in that space where Weber has the position, and Hardfisch are level. It's 9 apiece. Still a breakdown, despite the fact that both sides have had 2 breaks now, because Silence getting theirs before the half meant that it's given Hardfisch a little bit more work to do.
Good effort from Sirup there, but even better effort from Hardfisch, really clawing their way back into the game, forcing Silence 3.3 to take another timeout. And to prepare for the last part of this men's Masters final, we will take a little breather in the commentary booth. Welcome back after the timeout in the men's Masters final. Hardfisch have just scored 2 breaks against Silence, 3.3, the rather junior Masters, to the other Czech Silence 4.0 team, who have just finished off the tournament with a gold medal against Zimmer, a team out of Great Britain.
A Spirit Award to boot as well, which is a brilliant double. And I've just double-checked with our scorekeepers as well. Both sides have 1 timeout to take in the conclusion of this contest.
When is it going to be? We're yet to find out. We're tied at 9 and in for a treat. 64th minute of the final. The pull goes up from Hardfisch. Halamka to Preussel. Voseček. See some changes from Silence on the O-line, but an imprecise pass from Voseček causes Řezník to drop it, and Hardfisch with a really short field to go collect their 3rd break. Try to get the break. It's not there. Neuhäuser looking for options. There are not that many, but he will eventually find his teammate, and Hardfisch, just like that, go up 10-9.
It's the first time they've been in the lead since it was 5-4 all those points ago. So Hardfisch have roared back. Fish can't really roar, I guess. What noise do fish make? I don't know. They've swum back into this contest to lead 10-9.
I would say another turnout there, Benji, as the Czechs tried to collect themselves during a timeout.
Yeah, it did not have the desired effect, you'd imagine. And here we see Neuhäuser often doing a lot of damage downfield, but on the D-line he's picking up after the turn. He sits the mark down, and as soon as he scrambles to get back into position, he gets caught too far round, opens up that space towards the near side of the field, and it is very duly punched in at the first time of asking.
And the legendary walrus for Vosicek there, unfortunately, as much as I like that guy, he really let that breakthrow slip, and that's a mistake that a few of the players on the silent teams have been guilty of, really trying to put their hand in to the open side without really protecting the break side that Hardfisch really like to exploit. Rzeznik now.
It's really easy to get greedy and try and stop everything, but the most important thing, of course, is to help your teammates out by stopping those break side passes that they are allowing.
Breusel hoping for that up line. Eventually steps around, gets it to Vosicek. Fiala now with a low grab. A foul call somewhere.
Yeah, on just while he was coming back, Schwanker got a piece of the throw and quickly uncontested, but little stoppage while players retake their positions.
The game, of course, will get very heated now as the teams have been trading and both feel like they have a shot at this, but a pick called. A nice matchup closest to the disc. Halamka and Spectre will surely be one to watch out for. Spectre being the older one of the two, I believe. Halamka at the age of 34, Spectre 35. Halamka strikes off deep. And they do put it up for him yet again. Two defenders underneath. And it will be Fugman who comes down with it. No call.
Well, there is a call. It's a travel because he went to reset himself from the point where he caught the disc. But he wasn't in the end zone yet, so he didn't need to, and just handed up too much, and it allowed the taller Fergman to come and steam through and steal that away while the two smaller receivers were caught underneath the disc.
Spectre gets the break side pass. Rzeznik really drops to try to prevent that deep shot. Vorwerk finds Fugman. Fugman wants the deep shot, doesn't take it. Back to Meistering. He hasn't taken too many breaks himself the past few points. Schwanke. Back to Meistering. Meistering takes the last timeout for Hardfisch in this half.
Yeah, I think knows that this is a great opportunity to put their noses in front. It will be the first time they've taken a 2-point lead in the contest, and I don't think that's an opportunity that they are willing to take for granted. Having a 1 point, been 9-6 down in this game, they've scored 4 on the bounce to take a 9-10 lead, and this would be 5 if they could convert to go 9-11.
Lots of German fans in the chat cheering on this Hardfisch Hamburg team. And as the teams huddle up during this important moment of this game, we will take a little breather and let you watch some dogs.
Help go electric, become a member.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
Hi, this is West. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
Hardfisch and Silence come out of their respective timeouts. Hardfisch with a chance to break the Czech offense for the third time, to break off 11-9 in this game. Meistering picks up the disc. He's looking for the reset, gets it in the hands of Fugman.
Using that offhand backhand there, and now Fugman's taking advantage of the face mark to swing it to Meistering, but there is a pick in the stack downfield.
We hear some Czech grandmasters offering some well-intended advice from the sideline. Fiala tips it in. And a deep shot goes up. Will it make it back into the end zone? Oh my God! Halamka immediately calls it out. Vosicek missed the disc. And it was a high grab. The receiver had no chance to actually check his feet. Seems like everyone will agree, including the nearby Hardfisch sideline. But what a throw, look at that.
I think he might get a tip on it, but you can see that foot is very much on the line. Halamka calls it out, and the disc is back in Silence's hands, and the turnout strikes again.
Oh, and here's the third break. Just like that, Benji.
Just threw it right into the defender's hands. I've no idea what happened there, but Hardfisch, I don't think we'll ever get an easier chance to break, and well, they took full advantage. It's 11-9. That's 5 on the bounce now for the Germans. 5 in a row.
I think it's just really good poach D, and Hardfisch really taking away those unders away from Silence. And I can see they have crossed over some players, and I see a little bit of confusion on that flow from Silence, not being sure who's cutting. I can see them looking at each other like, who's going to go first? And that's just, those extra seconds that will put the handlers under the pressure that then forces the turnover. So Hardfisch jumping away by 2 points now. They have found themselves in this situation before earlier in this game. Don't know, Benji. More support from the fans, maybe. Join us in the chat.
Get out there representing, whether you're neutral or whether you're rooting for the Germans here, Hardfisch or Czechs. Silence. Love to hear from you in the YouTube chat. And if you're watching this on demand and you can't root for your team, well, just do so in the comfort of your own home anyway.
So for another windy point, Vosicek receives the pull. Goes to Preusel. Halamka. He has Fiala striking deep. Fiala seems to read it well. Defender goes up, but it will be Fiala who gets the score. He sort of wobbled the disc, but I think he had clear possession of it before it fell out of his hands.
Boy, they needed that one. If somehow they'd have conspired to drop that or whatever, I think you could pretty much call this game over. But that does keep them back into it. They finally stopped that 5-point run from Hardfisch, and the thing is about that that break train that Hardfisch got is it's not even like they were killer, they were clean. They were, with the exception of the point to make it 9-10, they needed multiple possessions each point, but they gave it to him. And he dropped that pretty quickly. I'd like to see him maintain control for a little bit longer just to assuage any doubts there.
That is correct. Now let's see if there is the D-line that's been on the sideline for a while for Silence. Can steal some of those breaks back. It's not impossible, of course, and it's up to the Germans to keep the composure. Meistering stays on for the Germans. Ooh, and a huge throw goes up, but it's floating, and Vavrusha is underneath it. He's gonna miss it! And just like that, Hardfisch respond with a quick score by themselves.
I saw Maloney take off from this near side, and I thought Fergman's got to do it. It's quite a protracted wind-up with a fair amount of baggage, and he got too much air underneath it, and I thought Vavrusha was going to make him pay for not getting that throw out of his hands quickly, but guilty of the misread, needs to spend more time in the library, gets caught too far underneath it, and Maloney, he's there to greedily accept the goal. That is his 4th of the game now.
Sorry, that was Vosacek, not Vavrusha.
Vosacek, you are right, correct.
I said that before too. Oh, look at that little cute celebration. Look at all the energy that guy has after playing 2 rough games of Ultimate.
Hey, four goals and a couple of blocks as well. Maloney's having himself a day.
Impressive stuff from this German team. It was close, but it's all the energy and mental strength they will need. Halamek centers to Preusel. Vavrusha thinks about the deep shot, doesn't take it. Preusel goes to Jurasek. Jurasek does take the deep shot. Spectre is underneath with Halamka. What a matchup! They both go down. I think a foul call.
I think it is indeed going to be the foul called. Yeah, you can see the hand signal there. I think it's Meistering behind. Again, just tries to curl this one back in bounds, and just seemed like there's a little bit of an arm, from that left arm from Spectre in the lower back of Halamka.
Yeah.
How much effect that had, I can't tell you.
Not a good angle for us to judge anything. Meistering maybe offering his perspective, and it seems like it's going to be a contested foul. Just to keep things flowing. In fairness to Halamka, he has not called a foul one single time in this game yet, and he's found himself in plenty of situations where some of the other players might make a different decisions. But Silence keep possession. Wind is very calm now. Bachta was completely open, but his teammates just failed to see him. And oh my God, this time it's gonna be Halamka who gets down to the disc. Preusel does take a laser blade or a laser flick to the end zone, and Silence, even through some problems, score another point.
Well, they couldn't get the connection earlier in the point, but they thought, you know what, Basto rolls, we'll run it back and we'll do it again. And this time he really zings it in there to Halamka, who is all over the stat sheet. 3 goals now, 4 assists. Halamka is being a real problem for Hardfisch. If Silence are going to come all the way back, I feel like it might be on Halamka's shoulders.
I'm getting a little bit of info from the sideline. That wasn't the intended throw. It was actually hand block, and that's why it looked a bit funny and went a bit further to the side, forcing Halamka to go for the layout.
He always meant that. We'll be seeing Hardfisch in Limerick later this summer, but we won't be seeing Silence version 3.3. We have other things to do, like raise families. I don't quite understand, but whatever works for them.
That is actually one of the reasons this Silence 3.3 team is not going to Limerick, as they have a lot of newborns and little kids from these players, really not allowing them to leave home for a full week.
Yeah, brand new human being babies. And yeah, there is childcare provided at Worlds, but even so, it's a week away from home. It's family. It's also a question of getting the time off work.
And some of these men are happy that they have made it in life, you know, and found themselves a girl to actually have a baby with. But anyway, back to the action on the field before I offend someone. Dreyer. A bit of zone from Silence. Ooh, nice opener with a fake from Dreyer. They get through. to Schwanke on the sideline. Meistering finds a gainer. Back to Dreyer. Not too much wind right now. They could go over the top.
I was thinking exactly the same thing as you.
Now they're getting a tiny bit stuck, but that throw is actually perfect, like we said. And commentators curse. Feala strikes for the D. And what an important point for silence.
They needed that. I'm not sure whether this is something that Neuhäuser should holster or whether it's a question of the receiver being a bit lazy, but yeah, you're right, Fiala just gets right in there.
And we're out of timeouts in this half as silence take their last one, call for a bit of refreshments and huddle up to come up with a strategy for a potential comeback in this game. We will leave you with the anticipation and a little break.
As a huge one goes deep. Becky has it in her broad, but it's a goal! My goodness, Elise Becky, you legend!
The break side, Murphy, then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! DV!
Help us go electric, become a member.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
All timeouts effectively or less effectively used. We are back in the men's masters final at EMUCC Wrocław. Czechs with a chance to come back and steal one of the breaks of their German opponents. Halamka picks up the disc. Fiala strikes deep immediately. Vosacek doesn't get the swing off. Fiala on the far close sideline. And Fiala with a deep shot for Vavrusha. Defender is underneath. Who's gonna read it better? This time it's Vavrusha who comes down with it. Srp moving the disc quickly to Preusel. Oh, sorry, Jurasek. And here is the break for silence, staying in the game. Vavrusha with another score, really the hero of this point, getting that important deep shot, securely collected on the sideline, and then comes out victorious in the end zone too.
Going up against the long, lean Fergman defensively, and Fergman, he wants to go up there nice and early to not give the receiver a shot at it, but actually the disc just hangs for a little bit more than I think he was expecting, and Vavrusha brings it down. And then just playing it around the end zone.
Jurasek to Srp, yeah.
Yeah, and he uses that inherent lefty advantage just to sneak that over to the break side for Vavrusha to catch the goal, his fourth of the game, to go along with an assist to boot.
With less than 6 minutes to the end of the game, we're tied at 12. Silence, evening out the score with an important break. Wind has calmed down yet again, and here is the silence deadline. D-line. Deadly D-line. That's gonna try to do something that Hardfisch did a while ago and chain some of these breaks together. A low release from Meisterling. Spectre goes through the middle, but Halamka sees it and gets there early. Almost a crash with Maloney, but no call will be made.
Halamka was always there.
Halamka is everywhere. Them calves are everywhere. Vosacek picks up a travel call. I am not surprised. Voseček is known in the Czech ultimate community for struggling to keep his foot on the ground. They explain to the rest of the field what's happening. We again see that open lane poach, and Voseček goes for the deep shots to Vavrusha. He's gonna do it again. Look at this man. That's his 5th score of the game and a 2nd break for Silence. And just like that, they're back on the horse. I am sorry, I'm getting way too enthusiastic. I am not unbiased.
No, I love it. Bring the heat. Bring the heat. You are completely unbiased, as we always are. In the booth, they had that advantage, didn't they? 8-6 up going into the second half, scored to make it 9-6, and then that break train just kept on going. They couldn't apply the stops to it. 11-9 they went up, and then after 12-11, after a couple of trades to make it 12-10, became 11-12. 12 all, and now 13-12. The Czechs in front. That's now 5 goals for Vavrusha.
Exhilarating. I don't even know where to start. These ups and downs in that game, it's too much for me. It's too much. I've had this almost all weekend. We started with a run of these tight games yesterday afternoon, and it's just been a ride since then.
Isn't it great?
It is, but I'll sleep like a baby tonight, I'll tell you that. Hardfisch failing to kind of stop the pull that rolls out of bounds, and they will be stuck in that coffin corner. Silence defense completely pumped up. They do get it off towards the middle. Meistering using that lefty advantage, working with Dreyer.
Good time for the wind to pick up a little bit here if you're a Silence fan.
Spectre looking for options. Dreyer gets it. Meistering forces Halamka to leave his feet.
Halamka's once white jersey, he's got an awful lot of brown mud streaks on it now.
Meistering in the middle, fakes the deep pump. But again, goes back to Dreyer. Dreyer breaks the mark for Spectre, but oh my god, Jurasek gets in the way. I think for me that would 100% be a dangerous play, but you know, again, we're in Masters Men's. There really haven't been any calls that would be dubious for anyone in this game. So Voseček picks up. Halamka looks for the swing. Meloni tries to get a hand on that. Voseček keeps it.
Yeah, on the turnover, I think Spectre didn't have the awareness that there was a player there, waited too long, and Jurasek came steaming through to get the block.
And he had the disc now. Oh, and a drop by Voseček in the end zone. Another chance for Meistering. He's gonna put it up. Fiala is there, but who's gonna get there first? Oh my god, what an effort! Can they get there? No, they can't. What a rundown. Was that Fugman?
It was.
What like I could see that how badly he wanted that disc, knowing that it could be so much easier for his team to just get that point scored quickly. Instead, they find themselves on defense. Voseček has the whole field open, goes for the deep shot, again for the target Vavrusha, who stumbles as he catches the disc, but keeps possession. A little bit of bumping. Halamka will need to calm down. And he's navigating the traffic. Fiala in front of the end zone. Voseček gets it in the middle. The players really not doing a great job organizing themselves in the end zone, but they will get the upline cut off. No, they won't. Jurasek complaining about that imprecise throw, but we have to remember that Silence started on defense here. Meistering with a big shot just out of reach. Oh my god, what's happening in this point? Neuhäuser with a drop.
It's become one of those points, hasn't it, where all of a sudden, if one bad turn disowns another, and another, and another.
But I'll tell you what, I think it's also these gusts of wind. We started with almost 0 wind, and now it's picking up again. You really have to assess every throw differently. Halamek on the sideline gets it to Voseček. Do they have the swing? Yes, they do. Jurasek looking for Fiala. Fiala is not there. Ooh. Voseček finally gets open. Good disc skills. And a round pass. Again out of reach. Jurasek doesn't have it. Meistering doesn't want to waste any time. Doesn't want that Czech defense.
Unfortunately, Czech was throwing to a cut that just never developed.
That's right. Neuhäuser to Meloni. Back to Neuhäuser. Seems like the Czechs will be forced to transition. Spectre to Meistering.
You hear the whistle go, confirms we'll finish the point, clap +1, so game to 15. Oh.
Dreyer. Wow, finds Neuhäuser. Meistering with that deadly forehand. I knew it was gonna come off, and it did. Hardfisch hold, but Silence stay up. We're tied at 13.
Wait, no, I was wrong. It's now 13s. That means cap is on, game to 14. We're in sudden death.
Universe point, game to 14. Wow. I don't, if the mixed final will end up like this, I don't think I can make it, Benji. Can we get someone else?
Oh, Rachel, no.
I came here to relax.
Did you? If you did, I think that is fully on you.
True, true. So we will take a little breathe in and breathe out before this last point. Open Grandmasters finals finished on Universe. Silence 4.0 ended up on top. Later on, taking that Spirit prize as well. And we find ourselves in an exact same situation. This time, Germans on the other side, not Brits. But Silence version 3.3 will really have to pluck up all their calm and skill to just score this one last point. So on the Silence side, we have Jurasek, Voseček, Srb, Halamka, Preussel, Vavrusha, and Řezník. For defense, Meistering.
You can see Dreyer's there.
Dreyer. Pull goes out of bounds.
You've got
Wiebe.
Maloney's there, Spectre, Fergman, Schnittke as well.
So these 14 players will decide the fate of the Open Masters title here in Wroclaw. Voseček will walk the disc to the brick mark. He has Jurasek striking, but Vavrusha is left open. Oh, Vavrusha gets pretty badly fouled, but he can take a hit regardless of his skinny frame. Meistering clearly hyped up.
He went for the foot block and he just got a big old ugly hack of his opponent, of Vavrusha there instead.
A pick call downfield. The discussion will be about whether the disc stays with Vavrusha or Halamik. I don't think it affected either one of those four players. So I really think it should stay with Halamik.
Seeing a repeat of the foul there. I mean, come on, Meistering, at least buy him dinner first.
And he has 2 kids and a wife. So this gets tapped in yet again. The stall count is low because of that early foul. And Vavrusha will take the deep shot. Voseček is underneath, he collects it. And he goes to Řezník. Can Řezník make it? No, that's a throwaway. And a turnover and a chance for Hardfisch. They will go the other way.
We keep kind of an informal record of stats, and sometimes it's difficult to keep track of, you know, whether it's the throwers or the receiver's fault, how the miscommunication happened, whatever. But I've got that down as Voseček's 8th turnover this game. 4 of those have come in the last 2 points.
Meistering. Dreyer. Back to Meistering. You see the Germans trying to get the unders, but nobody really wants to throw anything dangerous in this difficult wind. Pick call downfield. Stops the plate. We have Halamka and Meloni battling it out in the deep space.
Just check back in.
Dreyer. Centering the disc. Meistering, he will rip it! Halamka is underneath, but so is Meloni. Who's gonna get it out of those two? It's about position! Meloni tries to get there, but another turnover on a deep throw. Ooh, Halamka takes a breather. He knows how important this point is.
Halamka didn't get a piece of the disc, but he suckered Meloni into going for it earlier than he needed to. And although Meloni tried to peel away and adjust, he could only mack it on, and he tried to get there at the second attempt, but it was too far for him. So both games have gone to sudden death, and in both times, both teams have had possession of the disc and relinquished it.
Huge break from Vosacek there. Srp now with the lefty advantage. Goes to Halamka. Halamka thinks about the deep, doesn't take it. Jurasik. Back to Halamka. There's a big under from Vavrusha. Can he see it? Yeah, he's got it. He's got an open Vosacek. Vosacek finds Reznik.
If only they'd had that connection earlier in the point, it'd be game over.
Silence nearing that last third of the field. It's Vosacek. Halamka, tightly covered by Spectre. And a bit of touchy-feely marker defense. An uncontested foul.
These two sides getting very well acquainted with each other now.
Absolute nail-biter. Fans in the comments going crazy. Halamka with a beautiful inside break to Srp. Srp just shy of the end zone. He will have Preussel, but a little bit of tangling up of
Yeah, I think that that right arm of Meloni just turned around Preussel. Yeah, you see it there. That's going to get called every time.
So many hugs in this last point.
Yeah, it is rather touchy-feely, isn't it?
A big frame of Dreyer will cover Srp on the mark as the disc gets tapped back in. And Srp has high disc, gets knocked away by Hardfisch. It's Meloni for the D. Wow. Everyone keep breathing. Hardfisch go the other way. Meistering. Another deep shot. It's huge. Srp is there. Dreyer is there. Who's gonna get the advantage? Srp knocks it away. Wow. What an important D from Srp there, because there was other Hardfisch players trying to get that disc. Oh my god. How much longer can I keep doing this? Let's look at that errant throw from Srp. Luckily, he redeems himself, gets the D back.
Yeah, after Meloni, who hadn't made the first deep reception, went and got the D in his end zone as well. By the way, I have lozenges and throat sweets on hand for you after this game, Rach, because we're going to need them.
Halamka picks up. Thinks about the deep throw straight away.
Third possession this point now for Silence.
Jurasik. Looking for options. Waiting for the mark. Vosacek now. Goes for the big breakthrow to Vavrusha, who has a wide open Jurasik. He's going to take the deep shot. Can he run it down? Oh my god. This is too much. This is just too much. A wide open Jurasik in the end zone. And he just doesn't.
He overthrew him.
He overthrew him.
He overthrew him. It's that adrenaline pumping through your veins.
It is, but it's also the weather. Like I said, it's been windy. It's been absolutely still during this point. You really need to have that touch and feel on all the throws. Hardfisch, once again, go the other way.
They've turned it over twice deep this point. You wonder if now they're just going to try and be a little bit more circumspect and try and grind it down the field.
Meisterling. Spectre. Quick movement. The Czechs sticking with the zone. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. There really is very little wind right now. Dreyer on the sideline. To the middle. Spectre gets it through. Meisterling now with a whole open field. He has somebody striking deep. Halamka is trying to pay attention. Spectre now. They do look a lot more patient now against the zone. Spectre returns it to Meisterling. Meisterling with a long swing to Dreyer. Dreyer, their Hardfisch just few steps away from the end zone. The Czechs really need to keep their focus if they want to get this one. Meisterling in the middle. back to Dreyer. The Germans taking their time, but here it is! Hardfisch for the score! They take the universe point away from silence. Germany comes out on top, and they will be the European Open Masters champions.
It's the first time we've really called Schnitger's name all game, but talk about making it count when it matters, coming free towards the front of the end zone, and you can see there the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat written large across all the players' faces. Again, a hell of a game. We just cannot stop getting them on the stream for you this weekend, and on this occasion, it's Hardfisch with a break on Universe for the win and the title.
A heartbreaking loss for the Czechs. You can see Halamka, who has done so much for this team, not just from an admin perspective, but of course in this final. It seems like the spirits remain high. We see players smiling, congratulating each other on this thrilling game. What a game it has been. It just had everything. All the ups and downs, all the turnovers and deep shots, all the layouts and all the skies.
Do you want to have a bit of a lie down?
I do.
Well,
yeah.
I've got bad news for you, because in 18 minutes time we've got our final of the day and our final game of the EMUCC going to the Mixed Masters division for B-Fire against PUC, and I will tell you that when they played each other in the initial pool stage, it was 15-13. So another close game incoming. Of course it is.
Thank you so much for joining us live from the comfort of your home, the sideline here. We appreciated all your comments in the chat, the interactions that I was not able to follow because I could barely follow what was happening on the field. Please do join us for the last game of EMUCC. And if you did like our coverage, please be so kind and think of ways that you can support ULTI.TV, be it by following us on different channels of social media, including our new TikTok account, or just going to our Patreon page. And for a few currencies a month, you can support the work we're doing here and all around Europe for Ultimate and for you fans at home. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in a few minutes for the Mixed Masters final. Stay tuned.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV